Hello beautiful people, welcome to Plug and Play. So today we're gonna be reviewing Roseselsa with collaboration and the Audio Vault CJ20. So I've already unboxed and the packaging you will get from the box. Here's the whole package. So the Roseselsa CJ20 and the Audio Vault is a collaboration between Roseselsa and audiophile YouTuber and the Audio Vault. It debuted in early 2026 as a single driver planar magnetic in-ear monitor tuned specially for rock and metal. Each earpiece houses a 14.2mm planar driver on a custom vented chassis. The name CJ20 is inspired by China's Chengdu J20 fighter jet, reflected in its stealthy metal design. The key specifications are 14.2mm planar magnetic driver, and the frequency responses from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Impedance is about 24 ohm, and the sensitivity is about 102 decibel per voltage. The cable is 1.2 meter graphene plated OCC copper cable, and it has a modular connection of 3.5mm and 4.4mm. The included accessories are 6 pairs of silicone tips, 3 wide bore, here you can see, and 3 narrow bore, 3 pair of narrow bore. The cable is 4-core graphene OCC cable with both 3.5mm and 4.4mm terminations, a compact carrying case, cleaning cloth and brush, and a user manual. No hard case is included. It might be a common nitpick for somebody. The build is all metal aluminum alloy. Each shell is near 5.4 gram with vented faceplate. Here you can see the vents for an open airy sound. A 0.78mm 2-pin connector, accepts interchangeable cables. Overall design and finish are high-end and ergonomic. So let's talk about build, fit and comfort. So physically, the CJ20 impresses with its solid metal construction. The CNC machined aluminum shells feel premium, and the venting on the faceplate relieves driver pressure. Despite the metal, each earpiece is fairly lightweight, 5.4 gram, aiding comfort. The shape is contoured and relatively small, giving a secure ergonomic fit for most users. Our testers found the fit very comfortable. The CJ20's small size, smooth edges make it easy for long sessions. However, note the short nozzle, which is 4.5mm length. Air tip rolling can be a bit tricky, especially with long bore tips. The nozzle guards have fine nylon mesh filter. Good seal is achievable with the included tips, and optional foam tips if you want extra bass, but that foam tips weren't included. But may take patience. Once sealed, isolation is moderate. Semi-open venting means some leakage, which contributes to a wide sound stage. The stock 0.78mm 2-pin cable is soft and very flexible and well built. In my opinion, it is well built. And the 4-core, remember that its sound is neutral by design and comes with both 3.5mm and balanced 4.4mm plugs. The CJ20 scales up nicely with higher end sources, though it's easy to drive even from a phone or a tab. The sound signature. So let's talk about sound signature. The CJ20 tuning is bass forward yet articulate and dedicatedly bright leaning, geared toward rock or metal. In practices, it delivers strong, punchy low end, lean neutral mids, and extended smooth treble. So here's the background of all sound signature spectrum. So let's talk about the bass. The bass is here strong and quick. Remember, it is an planar IM, planar driver IM. So the bass has a bold mid bass. It has a bold mid bass hum and punchy slam. Our listening found bass to be powerful and textured. Kick drums and guitar riff lows hit with authority and fast transient response. Detail is high. There's minimal bloat or shimmer, so bass notes remain tight even on complex metal track. Sub bass is present but not overwhelming. It's not a subwoofer type bass IM. In short, it is a bass head IM in spirit, fun, and slammy without being muddy. So let's talk about the mid range here. Neutral and slightly recessed, in my opinion. Vocals and guitars sit slightly behind the bass, giving the sound a slight V-shaped, balanced sound signature. Male vocals have good weight and timbre, though female vocals are a bit more veiled compared to a neutral IM. Clarity is very good, detail is well preserved, but the mid-range isn't forward. Remember that the mid-range isn't that forward and it leans slightly toward V-shape. That's why. This means instrument can sound spacious but may lack some body. The CJ20 mids lean warm in tonality with smooth transitions, which some listeners describe as rich and organic. There's no harshness despite it being a planar driver. Even aggressive guitar texture come through cleanly. Let's talk about the treble part. Interestingly, the treble is extended, airy, yet laid back. Airy, laid back treble. So it is this type of sound signature is commonly found on latest release planar driver IM. The upper frequencies are bright and detailed, yet not fatiguing. Highs extended past 10 kHz with good sparkle. Cymbals and percussion have nice shimmer. According to some, the treble is energetic. But in my ear, that treble wasn't that energetic, to be honest. But it is, I would say it is good amount. It has good amount treble. So, but they kept it relatively smooth. I would say it is smoother, little bit toned down treble, but smoother treble. Some headrooms exist here. The CJ20 creates a convincing sense of air and depth in the top end. However, it does have a slightly 2 to 3 kHz bump and enriched 10 kHz region. So very sibilant recordings or travel-fi genre like bright K-pop can sound scratchy to sensitive ears. But to be honest, in my ear, the treble wasn't that scratchy or sensitive because I'm a treble head person. For most rock or metal tracks and other genre, the highs are crisp without harsh peak. Overall, the tonal balance is strongly U-shaped, accentuated low and highs, smooth mids. The result in a fast and transparent feel as many user notes, or to my friend, it felt fast and transparent. Its transient speed shines on fast rock and acoustic music. However, the emphasis on bass and treble means it's less suited for pure acoustic or laid-back jazz. Imaging and staging are notably strengths. The CJ20 sounds airy and holographic. Its semi-open vent allow a surprisingly wider soundstage, making vocal and instrument feel like they're well separated in that space. One listener, one of my friend even reported that above 2 kHz, the space opens up, leading to clear separation and precise imaging. This spacious speaker-like presentation is uncommon in IM. So if we talk about comparison and competitors, so this is MP145, and I've also heard MP145 Pro from Higis. So from my memory, the MP145 Pro is generally tuned more neutrality with bass and treble filter, so it sounds cleaner and more analytical. The CJ20 will have thicker bass comparing Higis MP145 Pro and a bit more pickiness. The MP145 filter allows tailoring bass boost or treble boost, whereas CJ20 relies on tip choice for tonal tweaks, or you need to change your air tips for different sounds. It doesn't have that filter option, it does have. So no matter the choice, note that all this planar IM excel in technical performance. The CJ20 simply adds a fun, bass-heavy spin tailored for metal, whereas many competitors chase neutrality or detail. So, in a short recommendation, which air tips to use? Experiment with the supplied wide versus narrow bore tips. This is wide bore tips and this is narrow bore tips, as you can see. The wide bore tips emphasize bass and airiness, suited for metal or rock, whereas narrow tips tame the bass slightly and push mids forward. Foam tips can also help seal and add bass if desired. Find the combo that best suits your air size and genre. So let's talk about pros and cons. The pros are robust metal build, premium CNC aluminum shell, durable low resonance, feels solid and premium, comfortable fit, lightweight, very lightweight, and ergonomic design, good seal with supplied tips, spacious sound stage, uncommonly wide, and holographic for an IM, thanks to its venting design, great imaging detail for gaming and movies, powerful tight bass, fast punchy low, with good texture and sub-bass rumble, great for energetic music, clear highs, smooth extended treble that remains fatigue-free. Cymbals and vocals have good air, detail and dynamics, very resolving and dynamic. Drums and instrument feels very lively, good accessories, hi-fi, oxygen copper cable, oxygen-free copper cable, OCC graphene cable, I would say, and detachable option. 4.4mm and 3.5mm multiple chipset. So what are the cons here? The cons is bass is much stronger than mids, making mids sound recessed, in my opinion, not ideal for vocal or piano-centric listening. Bright and niche. Tuning is bright aggressive for some, and some may find it fatiguing on certain tracks, but for me, it wasn't that bright. No hard case, only a soft pouch included. So not a sturdy case in my opinion. And the nozzle is very short, requires careful tip rolling, and may struggle with some third-party tips. Genre specific, optimized for rock or metal bass head genre, not great for acoustics. Classical or EDM enthusiasts lack mellow balance. So who should buy it? The CJ20 is for rock and metal lovers. If you crave slammy guitars and drums, emphatic, a low end, and a big sound stage, it is a great match. It also suitable for gamers or movie lover who wants an immersive forward sound. Bass enthusiasts will enjoy its visceral slam. Not for. So this is not for purists or studio monitoring. If you prefer neutral vocal, jazz, acoustic, or pop, the CJ20 may sound colored. Treble heads or sensitive listeners should be cautious of its bright peaks. Also, if you need versatile all-genre IM, there are better neutral options. So let's talk about price and value. The CJ20 launches at 169 US dollar. That puts it squarely in mid-range for planar IM. At this price, it competes with QER Aether and Hertz's MP145 Pro, which offer more neutral tuning and is notably cheaper than the premium Lecture S15. Considering its premium builds, included accessories, and unique tuning, the CJ20 offers good value for rock and metalheads enthusiasts. It's a bit more specialized, but those seeking its headbanger sound will get an honest, enthusiast-grade product at a reasonable price. For context, most single-driver planar fall in the 150 to 300 US dollar category range. So 169 is competitive, especially with the co-tuning pedigree. So that's it for today. Hope you guys have a good information about CJ20 and um, also the pros and cons of CJ20. So that's it for today. Thank you.